Hey everybody, this is Steve Moore, owner of Run More, this beautiful brick and mortar shop here in Carroll County, Maryland. We have been closed now for about 2.5 weeks while we're dealing with the pandemic here, but our online store is still open. We are shipping out of here. So if you need anything, please support us. We really appreciate it. Keep our small business here afloat. If you enter promo code RUNMORE on our site, you will save 15% and we'll ship everything out for free. And if you're not in the market to buy anything right now, that's cool. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. That also helps us. So I hope everybody out there is getting some runs in and staying safe and keeping the social distancing and running by themselves, as we should be doing right now. So I want to talk about two shoes that came out to us this spring that were really successful for us. They're both in the Brooks family, and they're both really popular for people that are running and more for people that are using them for every day and for walking. So we're going to start with the new Brooks Transcend. So the Transcend 7 came out this spring. This is sort of their version of like a Glycerin, but with guide rails. That's sort of the best way that I can describe that to somebody. So it is their max cushion shoe that has those protective guide rails on the inside and the outside to hold your foot from moving. So if you are somebody who is over or under pronating, this is a great shoe. This is a cool shoe because you've never been able to sell it online. This is a shoe that is a brick and mortar store only. So we've been a Brooks distributor for years now, but this was a shoe we couldn't put on our site. You couldn't go into like a big box store even and buy it. This was a run specialty brick and mortar shoe only, but with everything going on, Brooks has opened it up and allowed us to sell this online. So if you've been curious about it, now's the time you can scoop it up. People ask me a lot, like, what's a good shoe for marathons? I pull this a lot for people, especially if they're getting into marathons or longer runs or are just new and harder on their feet. It's really cushiony, it's protective, it has that max cushion feel for a Glycerin. There are a lot of people that will put on a shoe from, like, let's just say a mid-cushion shoe like the Brooks Ghost, and then they'll maybe try like a Glycerin and say, I don't feel much difference in the cushionness and the softness of the shoe. So my answer to that typically is, well, if you don't feel the difference, then don't pay for the extra. Why would you pay an extra 30 bucks or so if you can't put it on and say, I feel the difference? This shoe, if you're coming from, say, the Adrenaline and then put on the Transcend, you're going to be able to feel the difference. You're going to feel not only just the support of those guide rails, what I call, again, that horseshoe that sits on the back of your heel and makes it so you can't rotate as easily. You can feel the support and you can feel the really soft plush inside of the shoe. That's a big thing that they try to do with this shoe, is that step-in feel, that really nice, soft, cushy feel that when you put it in, it feels like it's made for your foot. So that's what this shoe sort of feels like for a lot of people. I didn't race in it, but I did a lot of my long runs in this shoe 2 marathons ago because my IT band was bugging me really bad at that period. And it was helping me because, again, those guide rails, when I'm running and I start landing to the outside for me, those guide rails were helping balance me out. This shoe only comes in one width. It comes in one standard, but it's sort of a wider standard. So it's great for somebody who maybe need a little bit extra and maybe like a standard Glycerin or an Adrenaline or one of those shoes feels a little snug. I call this a B+ on the women and a D+ on the men. So just a little bit more than you would find in a standard B or D fit, but there is no other options on widths. It is nice and stretchy. It is sort of have that 3D stretch last they have, where there's no real big overlays and stuff that's going to bind your toes in. So you'll get some nice splay, and you can see it's got a nice wide base to it. So it's going to give you some nice protection if you do have a little bit wider of a foot, as I do. So the Transcend, it's 160 bucks, but on our site it is 15% off, and we'll ship it out for free. Great, durable, long run, long days on your feet. You're working right now. Let's just say you're somebody who's still working. You need something to kind of protect you on those long days. Awesome option. So that's a men's, and this is the women's. They don't have tons of colors in it. Again, it's a shoe that's sort of a sleeper shoe because it is only available in line. So there's 2 colors on it in the men's and 2 colors in the women's. But especially now that they're opening up to sell online for the time being, it's a great shoe to snag if you're ever interested. And again, if you read our comments on a lot of shoes, I recommend this shoe a good bit because we really have had success with it in our shop. So now we're going to move into an awesome shoe that a lot of people, if you've been running or into the sport for many years and decades like myself, the Beast and the Ariel. Okay, so this is a shoe that Brooks has had out forever. This is version 20. So this shoe actually I used to run in when I was a younger lad. I've always had some weird issues with knees and pronation and blah blah blah. So my podiatrist, my pediatrician when I was younger suggested the Beast when I was getting into running, and it did help. I'm actually wearing a pair of the old Beast right now in the shop. I wear this shoe around the shop a lot. This is version 19. I had used to wear like a retired pair of running shoes around the store, just like, an old pair of trainers, but I found that my hips and knees at the end of the day bothered me. And I think because I was just wearing a pair of old beat up running shoes, and now that we're in this nice big beautiful new space, we've got a pretty good runway here. So like on a busy day when I'm huffing and puffing and we're huffing and puffing and I'm huffing and puffing and we're huffing and puffing and I'm huffing and puffing and puffing and puffing and we're pulling a lot of shoes, I can feel it. But wearing this giant Beast feels really good for my foot and my hips and my knees. The new one, way better. Way better. There was a lot of trepidation from people because people that had been in the Beast forever were sort of used to that big Beast feel. It had that big piece of plastic on the inside, that really big firm posting that just didn't allow you to do much of anything. I mean, it really was a tank of a shoe. They've trimmed it up a lot. So in fact, they've gone down like 1.5 ounces on this shoe. The women's version has gone down about 1 ounce, but the men's version is about 1.5 ounces. So now, quite honestly, if people are used to running in some Brooks models, it's not that much heavier than like a Brooks Levitate or a Glycerin, for example. So when you put it on, it doesn't feel as much of a tank. So what they did was, what they've been doing with a lot of their stability models is they took out the hard piece of posting and put on really good durable guide rails. I've had people that when they come in, I say, oh, there's been big new changes. This is the biggest update they've had. You kind of see their face drop. This shoe has been a game changer for a lot of people. I love what I get to do here. I love helping people. I love talking to people. And when somebody comes in with something bothering them, and you see people come in that are new and they walk into my shop and they go, they make that, I'm not a runner, but I've got issues. And I was told, this is a good place to go to find out which shoe works for me. You pull somebody in a Beast or an Ariel that has never really had a good supportive running shoe, that wears them for work, wears them for walking, maybe is new to running and is kind of hard on their body, hard on their joints. You can literally see it in their face and they go, oh my God, I've never had a shoe that feels that good and supportive. It is a big, beefy beast of a shoe. But now it doesn't quite have that same like feeling of like a tank on your foot, but it feels nice and soft and still as much support. I haven't had one person that's come back that has got the new version of the 20 and the Beast or the Ariel that has said, oh my God, I don't feel as supportive. I feel like I'm collapsing. I feel like I'm rotating too much. Nothing but positive things. Nothing but, oh my God. You put it on and it has that same nice, soft, plush interior that we were just talking about in the Transcend, but in their big max stability version shoe that they have here. Most of the people that get this shoe are walking in it. Again, I ran it when I was little, so there are people that run in it, but I would say most people that come in here are looking for this shoe for everyday wear. It was kind of neat when I was shopping recently. I was at Giant and I saw somebody in the seafood department who just got a pair of the Ariels because she said she was on her feet, and she just gave me the big thumbs up because it made a big difference for her. So great option, and again, something you could snag up now for a good price point because everything is, we're shipping out for 15% off and free shipping. It got lighter, it got better. It's the only shoe that we carry that has a different name for the men's and the women's. So the men's the Beast, the women's the Ariel. I imagine that most females don't want to be walking around in a shoe called the Beast. I get that. So the Ariel and the Beast, again, not tons of colors, 2 different colors on men's and women's. It's a great shoe, a sleeper shoe, and a shoe we get a lot of questions on because it's not available everywhere. Again, it's a shoe that is sort of a run specialty shoe. So even places like a Dick's Sporting Goods that might sell Brooks stuff, they don't carry that model. So we get a lot of people that come in and ask us for it. But don't feel any nervousness about picking up the newer version or saying it doesn't feel as stable. When you're looking at it and it looks more sleek, it looks more like a better shoe than what they've had before as far as appearance and even the way that it just fits better. It also comes in a bunch of widths. So this comes in a standard, a wide, or a super wide. So on the men's, you can go from a D to a 2E to a 4E, and same on the female. You can go from a B, a D to a 2E. So you have a lot of width options. Awesome shoe. So if any questions, feel free to leave them below. Keep emailing us. Keep being supportive. It really means a lot to us. I hope everybody's out there being safe and staying active the best that they can. I think it's the best thing we can do right now. As always, I appreciate it very much, and we'll see you out there, I hope, real soon.